Good evening, everybody. I had the microphone on mute for a second there. How are we all doing today? It is Sunday, the 5th of December, 2021. I'm back in the potting shed. It's time for our weekly live show. So, what we're going to be discussing a little bit later on. I want to know how you store your seeds. But before that, we'll go through what I've been up to over this last week here in Littlehampton. But first, let's see if we've actually got anybody out there. Don't forget to leave a comment on the bottom of your, however you're watching, to let me know you're out there and that you're joining in and to join in the conversation. First of all, Basilian Allotment Man is good evening to you. Adrian is joined, good evening to you. Oricard Allotment, good evening to you. Anna Jones, good evening to you. Turbo Stream, good evening to you. Let's keep going. Stuart Jackson, good evening to you. Hope everyone is well. Hope you are well as well. Mr. Digwell Green Fingers, good evening to you. Hope you are well. Richard Golden, good evening to you. Hope you are also well. Sounds bad. Not again. Okay. Let me try this. So, how does that sound? Let me know in the comments. What robotic sound? It shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen. Let's go through the camera. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Where was I? Back to the comments. Hargrave Gas, evening all. Not done much this week, but looking forward to the next hour and a half. Lovely to see you, Hargrave Gas. Robotic sound. I don't know why that's coming through. Is that your voice or the mic making you sound like that? I have no idea. Trouble is, I can't hear what's going on. So, yeah. Sue in the Facebook group, good evening to you. Hope you are well. Cornish Heaven, evening, Richard. I'm just making a Christmas wreath. Lovely to see you, and hopefully you'll send us a picture of your Christmas wreath when it's done. Nothing. Hang on. Is that working now? Audio. There should be sound going out now. What? Silent now. No, your sound has gone back on. Okay, better. That's better, Richard. Good sound now. Woohoo! Better now. Thank God for that. That does worry me. Good. Yeah. Right. Good. What's annoying is I test this sound by making recordings during the week to see what's going on, and then it seems to me whenever I go live, it goes weird. Rebecca Hawkins, good evening to you. Hope you are well. Good evening to Beatrice. I hope you are well as well. Idaho Garden Girl, hello to you. Adrian is saying yes, okay. And Richard Golden says it's good. Well, I'm pleased that it is working again. I don't know what's going on. I'm trying to simplify my life at the moment. Using different things, and it seems to go wrong. Anyway, let's get on with the show. So, what have you been up to this week? Don't forget you can call in on 07307 135 174, or you can zap yourself in on the link that is going up in the comments as well. So, yeah, this week. You may recall last week I said I had an ill chicken, Popdom, who was, she'd gone through a molt a few weeks ago, seems to have sorted herself out. It seemed very, very ill last Sunday. I took her indoors, fed her chicken crab, and she seems to be okay now. In fact, today she went back outside into the chicken coop.
Um, um, so yeah, the Popdom is okay. Yesterday I went down the allotment, checked on everything after the storm. I haven't been able to get down there all week. Absolutely no damage, apart from one glass panel that is slightly moved. Easy enough to sort out. And what else was there? What else have I done? Today, been sorting out the garden a bit. I've got this huge pillar which has got a load of electrics on it and ivy growing up it. And the plan is to take that pillar out. So I've been disconnecting the electrics on that in order to get that post taken out. So pretty busy here at the Veg Grower Podcast HQ. Let us know what you've been up to in your own comments. But let us know what you've been up to in the comments. So Rachel Tysehurst, evening, logged in for Steve as he's on hour 5 of hanging up the bathroom cabinet. Oh dear, 5 hours hanging the bathroom cabinet. That does not sound fun. Allotmental has joined. Good evening to you. Hope you are well. Can you not listen to yourself through headphones before transmission? I do actually check myself on the headphones. You can't see them, can you? Do check myself on the headphones as well, but I also record using the software that I use, which should put that out to you. So I'm trying everything to make sure. I just don't know what happens. It's obviously, let me turn that off. It's obviously saying weird. I'll figure it out. I have to play it back to hear what you're hearing to figure out what's going on. Hi, Adrian. Have you had a good week? 2 trips to the allotment this week from Turbo Stream. Mulched a section with leaves, and second trip started cutting back an overgrown red currant bush back. Fantastic. So lots going on there. Rebecca, sadly, I've not been out this week. It's just too dark after work. I know how you feel. It is absolutely frustrating to finish work and it's still dark. But that's what weekends are for, I guess. And in some ways, that's why I'm glad I have a little shed that I can retire into in the evenings to do a bit of work in as well. We have another storm warning for Tuesday in Belfast. Wow, I did not know that. I've not heard any storm warnings so far for ourselves, so fingers crossed everything's going to be okay. And hopefully it's not going to be as bad as the last storm. Beatrice, I've replaced the felt that came off my shed roof, but whether it's been so dire, I haven't done anything else on the plot this week. Yeah, I mean, you're doing the important job. That's all you can say. At least you're doing that. You know, felt on a shed roof is a very important job because, as the way I see it, if you don't do it, you can end up losing your shed, and that's not good. So, yeah, that's the important thing. Idaho Garden Girl, I made another batch of pickled peppers and onions. Maybe one more batch to go. Oh, lovely. Pickled peppers and pickled onions. Love them. We got a huge batch of pickled onions that we made earlier this year. Absolutely love them. Adrian, conversation going on there. The rest of the week has been inside drinking tea. Fair enough. Stuart Jackson, only planted onions at school at the start of the week as I was away the second half of the week with 30 children in the Forest of Dean. Well, at least you got onions planted. I was down on the allotment yesterday, as I said, and actually I was looking at my onions. They've all germinated. They're all growing quite nicely. It's looking fantastic, and I'm pleased to say it looks like we're going to get some good onions as long as they hold out over this overwintering period. And then come Christmas Day, Boxing Day, I'll be sowing some onions as well to go in the springtime. So lots going on here. But yeah, do keep letting us know what you have been up to over this last week in your own gardens, in your own allotments. You can leave it in the comments, or you can call in on 07307 135 174, or you can zap yourself in, as I call it, appear on the screen by hitting the link that is in the comments right now. So this was a subject that we hit upon last week, and it was started off by somebody asking, how do we store our vegetable seeds or our plant seeds? And we had a lovely video come in last week, which I'm going to play again just to start this off and get the conversation rolling. So some of you might remember this from last week, but let's do it again.
Good evening, Richard. Good evening, everybody. Hope you're all well. Rebecca here. Just wanted to show you my seed storage. So a couple of years ago, I got this as a Christmas present, and it's honestly been one of the best things I've had. My seeds were a mess. They were completely all over the place. I have so many, too many, but don't we all? And my other half bought me this for Christmas to try and organise me, and it's been brilliant. So on the top, it's got this lovely little design, and it's a really good size wooden box. I don't know if you can see. Let me show you inside. So inside, it comes with plenty of space for all your seeds. You've got these little dividers that you can buy. I think you can buy them extra, I'm not sure, I never have because it came with these, but it's got salad crops, flowers, tomatoes and miscellaneous in there. Obviously I've got all my seeds from Richard, which are brilliant, still in there, but it really helps me keep all my seeds really organised. Yeah, so that's my seed storage.
There we go. That was, we hit on that last week, but I thought it was such a good little storage box that it felt like it had to be shown off twice. Now, on that note, I have brought out here my seed storage box. So some of you may have seen this before. I actually made this during the first lockdown. It's a similar box to what Rebecca has in that video that she just shared. The box itself, I think, was £10 from the work. So I went out there, I bought that, I sprayed it green, and then I printed off, I brand everything, as no doubt you know, but I printed off these labels to go on there, which I stuck down, and then I sprayed it over with a primer so that it will last. And this is over a year old. I think it's lasting quite well. Is there no picture? I've just seen the comments saying no picture. I can see a picture on here. I'll carry on. I can see the picture, so it should be okay. So on the inside, this is how I keep all my seeds. Now, I had to cut these bits of wood to make these sort of dividers, which I measured to the seed packets so I could get 3 rows in. Fantastic. It is okay, so everyone can see. Yeah, so I cut these bits of wood to get 3 rows in. I've got this little bit spare, which I just use for the miscellaneous things. As you can no doubt tell, a lot of my seeds actually come free from the magazines and things. And what I've done, I've organised these all in alphabetical order. So we start asparagus, our aubergine here, beetroot, beet leaf, going all the way up to the C's, which are back here, carrots, celery, and all the way there, leeks, and so on. So that is my seed box. Let me bring this up here, back to here. So I saw a comment. Everyone's saying that the picture is going good, so I'm happy with that. Now, but I saw a comment saying, well, Richard, I thought I had a lot of seeds. Yeah, this isn't all my seeds. At one point, I had 600 different packets of seeds, and I've grown more since then. I've got to make more boxes for this. But these boxes fit nicely inside a fridge, which I'm going to be, when I redo this shed a bit, moving this fridge out there. Now, the fridge is turned off, but I keep my seeds inside a fridge because the fridge, basically, it keeps mice or rats out of the boxes themselves. It doesn't let them in to get to the seeds as well, and it maintains a constant temperature, so it's better to keep in a shed. And that's something that I picked up a few a while ago. It's an old fridge. I mean, everyone knows I'm a fridge engineer anyway, so old fridges are easy for me to get hold of. But since I kept my seeds in a fridge, I find they're not littered all over them. I mean, they're still littered all over the house, but they're just in a nice place that they are easy to get hold of. So that is how I store my seeds. Let's have a quick look. There was a few comments come in. Ernie, evening, Richard. I trust all's good with you. Very well, thank you. Hope you are well, Ernie. What else? What else? Alice McGowan, good evening. My weekend job was potting on my winter lettuce. I'm amazed it actually growing. They're on my porch as I don't have a greenhouse or polytunnel. I store my seeds in stacking plastic boxes. Yeah, I'm always amazed that people don't grow winter lettuce more often because it does grow through the winter. It is a great way to get more salady, fresh crops all year round. Winter lettuces, there's plenty of them out there. Worth looking at. Turbo Stream, that's a lot of seeds. I don't think it's that many, to be honest, but I'll come to something in a minute actually on that note. All these boxes put my seed storage to shame. We've got a picture of that coming up a little bit later on. Digwell, I store my seeds in order of the month they are to be planted for successional sowings. I just move the seed packet to the next month. I used to do that, actually. I did used to do that, but I just found I wasn't that organised, to be honest. Might be doing better now. I like this. Instead, I'll print off a sheet for what seeds I want to sow that particular month. Somebody in the Facebook group is saying hello to you. Unfortunately, due to the way Facebook group works, I can't see who you are. So just let me know your name at the end if you... unless you want to keep quiet or keep your name quiet, of course. What have we got? Anna Jones, I store mine in an old style biscuit tin that has moisture absorbing packs in the lid. You can dry the pack out in the oven. That's a very good point, actually, the moisture absorbing packs. You know, the silica gel, whenever you buy electrical goods or pretty much any goods, it seems like at the moment, you get those little packs of silica gel. It always says, do not eat. Have I got any in here, actually? No. Usually I keep a few of those silica gels in the fridge as well, just to store them. That just reduces any humidity, reduces the moisture in the air, and seeds do not store well when there is moisture in the air. I was collecting a lot of fallen leaves today and potted a builder's bag. Fantastic. Everyone's doing really good with keeping these fallen leaves at the moment. I think it's such a great resource. Again, Turbo Stream sent me some great photos a little bit later on from that. My Christmas task is to sort my seeds into growing order for the next year. There we go. Well, we'll come to that in a little moment, actually, because I've got to go through these seeds at some point anyway. Evening, Richard, and all. Hope you are well, from Alison O'Brien. Lovely to see you, Alison. Hope you are well. And also in the Facebook group, hello from Alison Whelan. Hope I pronounced your surname right. Lovely to see you. Hope you are well. So, yes, I find this box, a bit like Rebecca's box, is great for keeping the seeds organised. I do it in alphabetical order, and then I have a bit of paper that I've worked out what seeds I want to sow, what month, and so on. And these boxes go nicely inside a fridge. That works out, again, that's to keep the mice, the vermin out. The fridge hasn't turned on, and it keeps a constant temperature. It's insulated, so it maintains the temperature quite well. Anna Jones is saying, hi, Alison. Just sometimes, if Facebook may not see the YouTube comments and so on, so I'd like to try and share things about. Anyway. We've mentioned about sorting seeds out a little bit earlier on. I think a few people's Turbo Stream was a good example. Is he needs to go through and sort his growing seeds out for the next year. That's again something I'd like to do throughout December, is go through all my seeds But let's start showing what I look at, and I usually start trying to be organised at the beginning. So these asparagus, it says so by August 2021. So technically speaking, these seeds, these asparagus seeds, are out of date. Well, there's a lot of debate as to whether or not being out of date really makes a difference. So, do I throw away or do I sow them? Truth is, I'll probably sow those next year because it's the only pack of asparagus that I actually have. And when they go out of date, seeds generally, it's not like they just suddenly don't work. It more is the implementation that the seeds are less likely to have a good germination rate. But any that are older than that, this one says, which is, I've actually sown some of these, aubergine long purple. It says to sow by July 2021. Any that need using up pretty quickly tend to come towards the front, so I use those first. And any that are too old, I get rid of. Unless there's something that I can use as a microgreen, like cabbage, cauliflower, a lot of herbs. And then I'll use those as microgreens so that nothing gets wasted. Just having a look, seeing what else. So this is it's a basil. Is a basil called Siam Queen, and that is good till November 2022. So that needs sowing this year as well, in order to make sure it is used up. So back to the comments quickly. Thank you for the seeds you sent through the club. Looking forward to growing them. From Rebecca to Digwell. Yes, members of the club have had an extra packet of seeds this month that Digwell very kindly passed on. Extra marrow. So yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you very much to that Digwell. What else have we got? A lot of people saying hello. So yeah, let us know how you store your own seeds in the comments. Now, on that note, let's have a quick look at the photos that have came in this week from all you lot out there, because there's a couple of photos that are related to what we're talking about. So Turbo Stream, let me get rid of the banner because that's in the way slightly. There we go. So Turbo Stream is out there and he has been collecting leaves, and as you can see there's a huge collection of leaves being used as a mulch under that lot there. Looks fantastic, and it's great to see these leaves being used. As you can see, there's even more leaves. He gets a delivery arrive on his allotment site quite regularly from what I understand, so they don't get wasted. And now this is how TurboStream stores his seeds. I think it was soap container boxes, which look like the perfect size. Got to say, nice cardboard boxes, good size, and all in there, hopefully organised. As you can see, a lot of Nigella. So I can't quite make the rest out, but cottage herb collection and so on. Lots going on there. He's also shared these photos, some of his seedlings. These look like his cabbages that he's debating when they should go outside, as well as various other plants that he's protecting by the looks of it as well. And finally, Stuart Jackson, his veggie pod is in full flow. He only got his veggie pod quite recently, set it up, but already you can see there's a good selection of what they called salad leaves growing already. So fantastic to see. So yeah, that sort of photos I've had this week. A little bit quiet at the moment, obviously going into these winter months. There's less going on in the gardens, but if you do have any photos you want to share, you can email me, richard@theveggiegrowerpodcast.co.uk, or you can post them in our Facebook group, or which you can find on Facebook, or you can just visit share it to me via social media as well. Visit the website as well at theveggiegrowerpodcast.co.uk. So, what have we got here? Hargrave gas. My seeds are stored in several old ice cream containers. Need to prove on that. So good to see what other people are doing. I don't. It's not a competition at the end of the day to see how we all store our seeds. I think this is just a subject that was suggested. I thought it'd be a great idea to cover it. If old ice cream containers work, they work. There's no shame in that at all. And in fact, I can see why old ice cream containers work, because they have a nice size to fit some seed packets in. I've got to admit, some of the I don't think I've got any in here. No, my bean seeds. The packets on those are quite a bit longer than these, so they don't necessarily fit in this container. So you have to find another one just for beans. I've got a bit of a blocked nose in case you haven't guessed. Digwell, I won't bother with out-of-date carrots and parsnips again. Tried them this year, very poor germination. Yeah, carrots and parsnips they claim to only have about a shelf life of about a year before they don't struggle with sowing. So again, when I go through these, I tend to get rid of carrots and parsnips. Fresh seed every year is what tends to work better for me with carrots and parsnips. I always seem to end up with lots of carrots and parsnip seeds anyway, so it's never a huge problem. Again, a lot of mine do come from magazines that I subscribe to. I get a lot of free seeds in there, and when I'm out at events, I quite often get seeds to try on stuff as well. And then every now and then I do go and buy certain seeds that I really have to try. Sorry, the mouse is sticking a bit tonight. Digwell is saying to Turbo String, good idea using soap boxes. The smell pots off many pests. Didn't think of that. I just saw the size of those soap boxes and thought they are perfect size. But the smell of that soap will pot off a lot of pests as well. I'm definitely in a mulch mood this autumn. The spread leaves are a few inches thick on that bed. I did think that was quite a few inches of mulch on those. But hey, if it works, it works. There's no complaints about that. Grow Veg UK. I keep mine in 2 binders that were designed for CDs. That's a good. I tried that in the past actually as well. I put every seed into a brown paper insert and name them. It's my OCD that makes me do this. No shame in that. I did actually try that as well, using photo albums, the photo album books. I tried keeping my seeds in there. I just ended up with so many seeds that the books just became bigger and bigger and bigger, that they weren't closing very nicely and difficult to try and keep stored very well. Again, if it works, it works. Yep, big seeds get stored in different containers, as do the tiny pack of seeds from Bargain Seeds. No affiliation. Yeah. There's quite a few different seed companies out there that do them in different size. I've got to admit, this is something I had to think about when it came to building my seed container, the different size of the seeds. But I think because most of my seeds are of this size, where I came up with this, just a bit of ply cut to size, I felt that's about the right size for most of my seeds. There's not much play in them, just enough to fit them all in there. The boxes were from clothes washing tablets from Aldi's. They're the perfect size for seed packets. No idea what the wife does with the old boxes from that, but I'll have a word and see if we can get hold of some of them. He said, Grow Veg UK, I'll send some pics in if I can. I won't be able to use those pics till next week, I'm afraid. I've got to figure out a way, perhaps with an iPad or something, I can get photos sent straight on while I'm on the show, so I can show them directly on the show. That would be cool, actually, wouldn't it? I use a photographer's carrying case inside it. It is full of individual small plastic boxes, perfect for seed packets. I use a photographer's carrying case. Well, have I missed a comment from Ballycillian? I don't know if every comment comes through, so I may have missed your original comment, Ballycillian. To know you use a photographer's carrying case inside. It is full of individual small plastic boxes. Perfect. No, sorry. I may have missed a comment earlier or something. I'm not sure, but yeah, but small plastic boxes. I've looked at, what was it? Really useful boxes. They do some small ones, and I looked at those at one point. I just didn't feel the price of them was worth paying. I mean, this wooden box, £10 for the box, probably £2 in materials to style it the way I have. Yours is perfect for standard C packets, Richard. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I think. Mine is the perfect size for standard C packets. There's always going to be some that don't quite fit the mould. That's what I quite like Rachel's one, because they looked adjustable. I have the same Ballycillian. So this photographer's carrying case inside it is full of individual small plastic boxes. Perfect size for seed packets. Be great. So it'd be great to see some photos of this. I really have got to figure a way that I could see it live on the show. I'll figure that out for next time. So yeah, Turbo Stream, I will make carbon insert for my boxes if I get round to it. I've got to say, I do find, and this is something that I've got to think about with my container, that by having them in alphabetical order, it is easy to go and find what I want when I want. But it would be much easier if I did have individual little labels that I could go through and sort of say, like, aubergine, asparagus, beetroot, tomatoes, etc. So I could go straight to see those. I think I've got room to do that. So that might be a little addition that I'm adding to my box at some point in order to make it even more user friendly. Because I do like this box. I've got to say, I do like this box, and I do like the fridge idea. For storing seeds, I send photo next week. Be fantastic, thank you. Yes, please. And we'll send a pic for next week for Beatrice. That's fantastic. Yes, I probably should have announced beforehand, although I think I said last week this is what I was doing this week. I should do on social media a bit more what we're going to be doing that week, so people can get their photos coming in a little bit early and get a bit of a reminder. I am setting up a schedule and what have you. So has anybody else done anything really different with how they store their seeds or anything like that? Don't forget, you can call in on 07307 135 174, or you can zap yourself in on the link that is going up right now as well. Just click on the link and it will access your phone, or access your camera and your microphone, and be a bit of a conversation going on between you, and you basically appear on the live show with myself. So I'm trying to keep my nose clicks. It keeps blocking up, which is annoying when you're trying to do this sort of thing and talk to everyone. On a note, if you are enjoying this show, don't forget to give me a like, a thumbs up, a follow, a subscribe, all that sort of thing. Click the bell to get notified when I go live, and all that. I can't remember what they call it, but it's one of those things I've got to say. Now, keep sharing your seed storage ideas. If anybody's doing anything really different, I want to know about it. But I've been spending a bit of time this week thinking about rearranging this shed. Well, in fact, I've been thinking about it for a while. And over this side, can't really see it over in here, but you sometimes see the glow from the lights. I've got a shelf that runs or several shelves that run the length of this this shed. I'm thinking of changing it around and just having an L-shaped worktop. Now, I've always liked floor-to-ceiling shelves personally, because I've always felt they make better use of the room. But I am thinking now, I've got several old kitchen cabinets that I can place in here and just use those for storage instead. Um, if anybody has done anything different with their shed storage as well, please do let me know. Now, Rebecca, before my posh box, I just used a biscuit tin, and to be honest, it worked for me and cost me nothing. That's a fair point. Fair point. I do think it can get very expensive sometimes when you're really into your gardening, really into your being organised and stuff. It does get very expensive coming up with all these different ideas. Whereas a biscuit tin, nice, cheap, and free, and it does the job. And the only reason that I use the fridge as well is because it's an old dead fridge that it made sense. I think it was Bob Flowerdew who suggested it, and I just figured that makes a lot of sense to use as a seed storage facility. And God knows I can always come up with old what do you call them, old fridges quite easily. So it made sense for me to use that as well, and it cost me nothing. Again, the same, I think I said a few weeks ago, I'm thinking of having a cold frame outside. I've got an old bottle fridge with glass doors that I could use as a cold frame instead. So when you start putting your mind to these sort of things, it's amazing what you can come up with as different things to use. No other comments coming in at the moment. We'll keep an eye and keep them going. Don't forget to call in if you are available. 07307 135 174. It helps because I haven't really got much on the mind to think about, Adam. Here we go. We've got Turbo Streams came in with a comment. I'm thinking of arranging my plot shed too. It's a small one, so needs some thought. A good point, actually, Turbo Stream. You know, I've got a small shed on the allotment as well. When I looked in there yesterday, the shelf had started to fall over, funny enough, a plastic shelf. The floor is going on it. But I've got a lot of shit, a lot of crap in there that I don't need, such as an old lawnmower, which I'm going to get rid of. Again, these are all things that have got to change. Jigwell, if you suffer from pests eating your seeds, then a few drops of peppermint essential oil in your box helps. That is a good idea, in fact. I'll be inclined to put it on a bit of cotton wool and pop that into your seed box or your seed, whatever you can hold onto your seed. Yeah, I think that's a great idea as well. Plus, you then get that fresh peppermint smell every time you open your seed box as well. Rebecca loves that idea. I love that idea as well from Digwell. That is a really good one. And Turbo saying could be a subject for a show. And Digwell saying we are all hoarders. Indeed, yeah, I do think as gardeners we are all hoarders, especially if you've got an allotment. I think we always find there's things that come in use, things that we know we will use one day, so we hoard onto it. And then when that time that we do use it comes up, it is a godsend. But I do agree, we are hoarders quite often. And it's actually something that I'm trying particularly more and more now to stop doing, hoarding onto stuff. I've got to admit, I do think I need to rearrange things. Again, I've sent a lot of stuff like plant food and stuff that I don't always get around to using. I have used the photo storage container, but I got too many seeds, so I went to small food containers from the dollar store. Fantastic. Yeah, small food containers. I've got quite a few of those as well, but I don't use those for seeds anymore. Photo storage containers. I've not seen these photo storage containers. I could tap this in online, actually, couldn't I? And have a look at this. Let's have a quick look on Google storage container. Oh, photo storage boxes. Is this what? Right, let me just bring this up. So go back to StreamYard. I can share this screen with you, and you can tell me if this is what you are talking about. Get rid of that. Is that what you're talking about? These photo storage containers? I like those actually. I can see why that's good for storing, for seed storage. Actually, yeah, that looks great. How much are they? 60 quid. No, sorry, 26.95. So, oh, hang on, sorry, you didn't see that, did you? There. Sorry, my mistake. You didn't see that. Is this what you're talking about? These seed storage containers? Let me know if that is what you are talking about. Haley Davis, I store my seeds in an old cassette holder with cardboard dividers or each category. It's the perfect size. Old cassette holders, yeah, that's a good idea as well. Digwell saying it stops spiders nesting in your seed storage box. Adding peppermint, that's a great idea. Tober Stream, I'm thinking of moving my homemade cold frame to the plot and sowing the seeds down there. Good idea. It's a pain to try and take my seedlings down on bike. Yeah, that is, I can see that is why. If you want to see them, ask Tony C. Smith has plugged them to death. I'm trying to see if this is what people are talking about. Yes, that's it. Fantastic. Excuse me. Yeah, I quite like the looks of those, as does Rebecca. They look brilliant. Idaho says, yes, that's it. And Green Side Up also plugs them as well. Who else? They are very popular, Richard. Many channels advocate their use. Yeah. How many seed packets do they store in each divider? I like the idea of them. I've got to say, I do like the idea. I've seen them on that channel. LOL. That's it. I had it for storing crafty stuff, but started putting seeds in it. The photo containers look great. I will look at potting them on my Christmas list. Well, there we go. We've got something else to go to that Christmas list, haven't we? Yeah, I'm liking these. I'm really liking these. 27 quid isn't bad either. They're also a coloured version for Seeds photo box kits. Yeah, great. Sticking that on my Christmas list. There we go. I'm seriously thinking about that as well. Let's get rid of that. I'm seriously thinking about getting that as well to, I think my box is brilliant. Don't get me wrong. Love my box. It's my own branded homemade, not quite homemade box. It cost me a 12 quid, shall we say, including materials. I think it's worked great, but I can see I'm trying to use less plastic, but I can see that being fantastic. Digwell was saying because they have Amazon affiliate links to the photo storage boxes. Yeah, I've got Amazon affiliate links to stuff, but if it works, I don't see the harm in it, to be honest. But if you can prove it works, but at the same time, 26.95 wasn't it? £27. If it works, it works. I think if you are try to be very organised, then it can only be a good thing. How many boxes does it have in there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 2. 8 times 2 is 16. So 16 different types of. I would need quite a few of them. I think that's safe to say. I don't have a greenhouse, so sowing seeds and growing them on the plot is a problem for me at the moment. Yeah, I've got to say, I do love the fact I have several greenhouses, both here and on the allotment. Well, a greenhouse at home and on the allotment. It does genuinely save a lot of time being able to do stuff like that. Approximately 10 standard seed packets per box. That's not bad. So 10 tomatoes, say, but 16 containers. Yeah, Me too. I pass my profits back to the buyer if possible. Yeah. Affiliate links are on Amazon. It's just another way for content creators to earn a few quid. You don't get a huge amount from it, in all honesty, but again, if it works, it works. There's no shame in that. 4 by 6 by 1. So yes, so those will definitely fit in there. I've got no fear on that. And then Turbo Stream, I would pay £26 to store seeds, to be honest. And that's a fair point. This is something that I was thinking myself. I'm more than happy with my box. It's cost me £10. And I think you said 10 packs in that, 160 packets. I think there's about 600 seeds in this one box alone. So for £12, I can store more seeds. Perhaps not as well organised. Pros and cons. Pros and cons is what I'm saying, but I do like that. I can see why that's a good, or being promoted quite a bit. I think I say time and time again, I don't watch much YouTube. I'm always either working, podcasting, or busy doing something or another. So I don't always watch people's YouTube channels. Unfortunately, because I would love to spend more time watching people on YouTube. Or even Instagram or Facebook and stuff as well. I feel really bad when I say that, but it's true. I don't even watch telly these days either. So from what I'm gathering, it's a bit of a recap for this show tonight. Many of you out there are doing it as cheap as possible, just using biscuit tins or old boxes, which no shame in that. The wooden boxes like myself and Rebecca have got, which are personalised, I think as a personal gift, I think they are brilliant. I do like my seed box. I've got to say, yes, it's my own brand, so I'm going to like it. Let me bring it back up. Yeah, it is. I branded this myself. I'm quite pleased with what I've done on this. And like I say, this cost me £12. But then there's that container that's really got me thinking at £26. It does make you think. And Digwell says, let's face it, there's no right way or wrong way. It's all about what works for you. And that is very, very true. I think that's gardening in a nutshell. There's no right way or there's no wrong way. That's also debatable, I guess. But it's all about what works for you. Rebecca says, I've been busy watching Digwell. Brilliant. Love his channel. And now I have millions of recipes to try. I agree. Yeah, I do quite often watch Digwell's because he shares his videos on Facebook. And by the way, Digwell, feel free to share your videos in our group as well. Or anybody with a YouTube group or Instagram, feel free to share it in our group. I'm not precious about that. It's all about sharing our knowledge in that group. But yeah, please do share things like that. But yeah, Digwell's I see quite often because I get hungry and I want a different recipe. Digwell seems to have made everything. But I don't store my seeds at the plot. There is no right or wrong solution if it works. Yeah, I don't store any seeds of mine down on the allotment, actually, either, thinking about it. They all stay here, but then I do tend to sow all my seeds at home. Which that's because I've set myself up here to be able to sow seeds. I consider my growing or my sowing seeds as like a production line. I start them off in one place and they move along as they grow. Digwell got in first with what? Yeah, with I think of that. For 600 packs, Richard, you would need 4 of those boxes, £100 plus. Yeah, that's what's making me think. But I do like the idea. I do really like the idea. I'm going to keep my eye on that. Using the box, I store things by type, but I am thinking of changing it to what I want to sow each month. Excuse me, sorry. Yeah, that might work better, actually. What you want to sow each month. And And then what I would probably be inclined to do actually is have a little card in each month of what else I can sow that month for things that don't fit in that box. So January could be a list of things like whatever I can sow in January, of course. That way I can, if I only have the one of those boxes, I can go into that and yeah, actually that's given me an idea. I can write a list in each container of the month, add a few packets that I really want to sow, and then other things that I've got in other storage. No cooking videos lately, guys. I lost my sense of taste 2 weeks ago after my COVID booster coming back slowly. Well, at least you haven't. Well, I hope you haven't had COVID, Digwell. You will know. I think you probably all know I had a scare last week where I thought, or people thought I might have COVID, which I didn't, thankfully. Turbo Stream. I hope to direct sow in the ground next year if I can stop the slugs. That's a good question, actually, to everyone out there on this subject. Who direct sows their seeds in the ground, or do they do like I do, where I sow most of my things in here to prick out and pot on as they go? I find it easier to do it that way personally, although it's more work. I just get better results. If anybody wants to see more of Rebecca's garden, she's on Instagram at the Little Black and White Cat. Please do go check her out. She has some stunning photos up there. They do offers. I got mine for £15, including delivery on those boxes. £15 quite reasonable, actually. So I think I've just pulled up Amazon because it was quick. I think it was the first one when I tapped it into Google. Oh, let's stop sharing that. Excuse me. Hope you don't mind me sharing this, Richard. Of course, I don't mind it at all. It's all about sharing what everyone's doing, in my opinion. I don't mind it at all. My stacking boxes were used for my crafting piece previously, so it didn't cost me. Yeah, repurposing is all great. I really do like those stacking boxes, I've got to say. It just comes into conflict with one, I don't like, I'm trying to reduce the amount of plastic I use. Two, I like the way I've personalized my seed box, but I am really thinking about getting one as well. Hargrave Gas. I can't direct so much. The mice take everything I pot in the ground. That's exactly what I was wondering. I have a similar problem with birds. They tend to take everything that I pot in the ground. And on the allotment, because it's such a weedy allotment, everything that grows can always easily get swamped out by the weeds. So I tend to only sow directly things like carrots, parsnips. I think that's about it. I'm sure there's something else, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. What have we got there? Idaho Garden Girl. I can get 25 or more packs on each of those boxes. It depends what the seed is. If it's tomatoes, it will be 25 to 30 packets. If it's beans and peas, it will be 5 to 8 packets. Yeah, so 25 packs per box. That depending on what it is, of course. So that's again an interesting one. 16. I mean, I tend to do it in varieties, but I'm thinking if I did it by month, that might work out better. Although March, April, May is always a month that takes up more. So you might need 2 boxes for those months. Would that work? Yeah, that would work. Stuart Jackson's got to go. Lovely to see you, Stuart. Take care, buddy. Hope to see you soon. Idaho Garden, referring to the photo storage boxes. I thought that's what you were referring to. I don't seem to direct sow anything. It never comes up. I find the same myself. Well, it does sometimes come up. It gets swamped out with seeds. And I've always felt, as somebody that tries to encourage more people to grow their own food, if I try and promote something like sowing seeds directly in the ground and they've got a weedy site, it's very difficult to differentiate between what is the plant that you want and what is the weed. And that's the other reason I tend to advocate sowing seeds in their own containers, so you know that what is in that container is definitely what you sow. My biggest problem, as I say, on my allotment is the couch grass I get, because there's so much couch grass that it just becomes a huge problem. Yeah, I think we're caught up on the comments right now. So yes, this is interesting, isn't it? I was unsure how seed storage was going to go, but we came up with this extra idea. These boxes are looking great, and these photo storage are going on a lot of people's Christmas list as well. Always a thing. It's difficult, isn't it, when you start thinking Christmas gifts, how suddenly everything suddenly drops into place. I start everything inside except carrots and parsnips, says Idaho Garden Girl, which is somebody like myself. They're the only two things that I tend to do outdoors as well. Off the subject, Richard, I sent you an email to get the address. I didn't get your email. What is going on with email at the moment? Sorry, Oracle, I did not get your email. Please do send it again. Richard at theveggrowpodcast.co.uk. Sorry, Oracle. If I don't get back to you with that, then go to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and send me an email that way. I wonder how many other people haven't got that. Grow Veg has posted a link in the Facebook group for everyone to see. Fantastic. Does anyone get in trouble for sewing on windows? My hubby has a fit at me. I still do it. Rebecca, yes. Hence why I've had to grow everything in the shed under grow lights. In our old house, it wasn't we didn't have many window sills as it was, and the windowsill we did have, I had my heated propagators up there. I had seeds growing up there. And when I removed them, the gloss work was pretty badly damaged. I had to repaint the entire windowsill again. I was not very popular after doing that, to say the least. But I like it. I think I like growing stuff on windowsills. In this house, I still grow. I've got ginger, turmeric, and cardamoms growing on windowsills. I grow herbs, I grow microgreens on the windowsills because it just seems to be a good place to grow things, especially at this time of year. But yes, seedlings are consigned to the shed or the greenhouse. I missed the last few minutes. My internet connection went down. Oh, sorry, Turbo Stream. We're carrying on the discussion. Early in the season, I prefer to start everything inside. The weather is so unpredictable. I agree. I completely agree. Oracle, I'm not that high tech. Okay. Send me an email again, Richard at theveggrowpodcast.co.uk, and do it tonight. If I don't hear back from you, I'll try and figure a way I can contact you. Yeah. Grow Veg, my windows south are even filled right now. Yeah. So is my kitchen windowsill. And in fact, I'm going to be sowing a little bit later on some microgreens in this container just to have those growing on the windowsill again. Stay there. So yeah, I add more and more to the windowsill all the time. Next year, nothing will be sown before April after this year's disasters. I find that interesting, Turbo Stream, because I'm always sowing pretty much all year round, regardless. Pretty much every week I'm sowing something. It's rare I don't sow anything. But I won't plant most of my tender plants out until mid-May. And consider I'm quite mild where I am. Was it this year we had that cold snap at the end of April? It's just not worth the risk. So I wait until the end of May before I plant anything out. Middle of May before I plant anything out anyway. Just to be on the safe side. Then it's a mad rush to get everything in before it feels like the year runs quite, or the year's passing by. Digwell says, I need to harvest the last of my outdoor aubergines tomorrow and a few greenhouse tomatoes. Isn't it great that, here we are, beginning of December, and the tender plants like aubergines and tomatoes are still producing. There's a lot to be said about that, I feel. I generally do think there's a lot to be said about that, because it just goes to show how much we can actually get away with. Self-facing white wool. I'm not sure what that is. I say too early this year, was too eager to get growing. I know that's a constant thing, and if you don't have a greenhouse or anywhere you can keep things going, it is a problem. I had a photo sent in earlier this year from a member of my group who sowed some tomatoes in March, and I think it was the beginning of May. He sent these photo of these tomatoes in his conservatory, and they were about 8 foot tall, so easy for them to get carried away. I direct sow all my peas and beans, transplant everything else, giving up on carrots, can't get them to germinate in my heavy clay soil. Right, Anna, so the problem with carrots in heavy clay soil, I know because I'm on a heavy clay soil myself, is that the carrot seeds are too weak to break through the clay soil. It sort of caps and becomes a hard layer on top. So there's several ways I've worked around this. First way is to sow the carrot seeds really thickly and then thin them out later on. The second way is to add lots of compost and sow them in compost, so it's a bit freer, a bit more movable. Quite a thick layer of compost, but it does work. There's a lot of people who say don't sow in fresh compost or don't grow carrots in fresh compost. I do it no dig, so it's probably why this works. My thoughts are it does work in compost. It's when you get pockets of compost and pockets of soil that you get the carrots end up forking. So by having just a uniform layer, I guess, seems to work quite nicely. Digwell, I say I delayed many sowings last year and I had better yields from tomatoes, etc. That's interesting. Again, I try and sow tomatoes March, April, and May to see how things go between the two. I have to start mine off early though, as it's always cold in the Midlands, so things never ripped. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I start a lot of my stuff off early, in all honesty, because May is when I start getting busy at work. So I find start it early. By the time May comes around, I'm already ready to go, or a bit further ahead, that work's not getting in the way so much. Michael White says, don't cast a clout until May is out, as the old saying goes. Very true. Very true. Rebecca, not ripped, ripened. The lack of greenhouse is a factor too for Turboster, and I think that I think that's very true. I'm very lucky to have a greenhouse. I do recognise that. I think once you get a greenhouse, you'll never turn your eyes back. It's such a great thing to have. But the other thing, cold frames are just as good as greenhouses, if not a bit smaller. Hotbeds work quite nicely as well. Digger, 2021, April was colder than January on average, and May was the 5th wettest May on record. Didn't I predict it was going to be a wet summer? I think it was back in January, I was predicting a wet summer, and I was right. I hate to say it, but I was right. Sow the carrots in cell modules and transplant the whole cell into the clay. That's I tried that actually. I didn't have much luck doing it myself, but I can see that would work. Something like my root trainers, which are, let me just grab one and I'll show you what I mean. These are my root trainers, so you fill those up with compost, and then sow the seeds in the top. Then when you want to use them, you just pop these open, and you've got You've got these sort of things that are just pop into the ground. That can work. That can work quite nicely for that. Oh, this nose. Quickly, we were talking about greenhouses. Richard Golding still has 2 greenhouses going free if anybody wants them. They are in Stenning, down the sort of Brighton, if I remember correctly. But they are going free. If anybody does want them, send me an email and I'll put you in touch with Richard as well. Why did I get that email? I think there's a few emails I've not been getting. I'm going to contact someone about that. Where were we? Digwell, the spring was the weird one. It certainly was. Anybody go, it's grim up north. Oh, that reminds me, actually. Last week when I finished this live show, I walked outside. We had snow. We had and it was laying. We never get snow here. Never get snow here. And yet there it was. Yes, it is Digwell. The Midlands is surprisingly cold, Rebecca. It certainly is that. Oh, I can hear Roxy. Ballysean, a bit time consuming, but I use a large dimmer to make 12-inch holes, then fill with compost to sow my parsnips into. It's the only way that works for me. I have heard that actually. A lot of people say if they do are on hard clay to dim a hole, fill with compost or sand, and then sow the seeds into that. I have heard that. I've not tried it myself because it's so time consuming. But again, if it helps somebody out there, it was that said they had trouble. Anna Jones, wasn't it? I think. Yeah. Was it Anna? Yeah, Anna. Yeah, who had trouble. That might be a way to look at it. Root trainers are great. They are great. They're just expensive, in my opinion. And they've lasted a few years. They're starting to deteriorate. And I'm starting to think at £12 for 2, it seems a lot of money. But they are good. They are good. I sowed my parsnip thick under a plank of wood and they germinated okay. That's an idea I have. There you go. That goes along with what I was saying earlier about sowing thickly. And then TurboSpring placed a plank of wood over his as well. Seems to work. Hopefully that works for you. Idaho is sent to Ballysillian. That was the first method of sowing parsnips that worked for me. And Anna Jones is saying, great tips, everyone. Thank you. That's what it's all about. This is what we want to share, all these tips, and see if it helps anybody else out there. TurboStream. I made a drill, watered the drill, and covered over. The plank keeps the drill from drying out too much. That's for sowing parsnips. That's a good thinking again. It makes a lot of sense as well. Excuse me. I didn't bring a drink out with me, so I've got a bit of a dry throat now. So yes, we've got some great ideas coming on tonight. I'm going to move my veg seed box out of the way. Some great ideas coming in tonight about how to store some seeds. So I thought Roxy was about to come to the door there. My nose is getting more and more blocked as well. Yeah, great tips about how to sow seeds, how to sow parsnips as well. So interesting, all these different ideas. That's better. Much better. I bought 32 new books for the Root Trainers last year, £12. They will last another 5 years. Yeah, so these are the books that for the Root Trainers. I've got to admit, I do think these Root Trainers are fantastic. But I haven't been able to find, and I did what I said to me before, you can buy the books separately. I haven't been able to find where you can buy them separately. But these are starting to come apart and starting to be, as you can see there, not brilliant in essence, but these are 5 years old. I think I got those. The main reason I got those is actually because I bought the shells that are made specifically for the root trainers to go in my greenhouse. And then I found the root trainers. I bought 2 root trainers. I realised the price, and I thought, what about it? Then I went into a garden centre near me, or well, not quite near me actually. It's a few miles away, but they tend to sell stuff off cheap, like Overstock. And I bought a load of them, and they were about £2 for 2 there, so £10 off. But I think they are, in my opinion, to buy them at £12 is a lot of money, but they are good. It's a toss-up again. I cannot find root trainers over here from Idaho Garden Girl in America. Yeah, they're from a UK company who I'm surprised he's not got them over there, to be honest. I'm very surprised on that, but keep your eye out and see if anything happens. On an old video with Jeffrey Smith, he covered his seed trays with newspaper. I guess that has the same effect. Not heard of that. Not heard of that at all, but I'll look into that for a Turbo Stream and try some experiments. Rebecca found some on Amazon, but like I said, they were just a bit too expensive. That was my thoughts as well. I think they're brilliant, don't get me wrong. And for £12 for 2, if you only want the 2 of them, they're fine. I ended up 16 I needed to fill up my 2 shelves. So that was over £100 again. And that's where I feel it got a bit too expensive. I bought root trainer books from Elixir. Not familiar with Elixir, but I'm going to look into that this evening. And not popular in the USA for Idaho Garden Girl. Next time I see Hapnics, normally see him at Glee, which won't be September usually, I will ask why they're not in America. It'll be a while off. I don't think I normally see them at the March event I go to, but I normally see them at the big one in Glee in September. So I will have a word and see why they're not over there. I think you are right to dig well. Search Mr. Smith's Garden on YouTube. I will do that. I will certainly do that. Richard Golding, have a look. Have a look. Have a look. Yeah, have a look. Now, I'll have a look and check all these things out and see how they are going. Like I say, Richard Golding, I'll say this again. If anybody is in the market or after 2 greenhouses, let us know. Let us know. They're going. They're available. I think they need to be used up. They need gone, and it seems a shame to waste them. I would have thought after. I'm surprised, in all honesty, Richard, that you still got them. I would have thought people would have got. I would have thought people would have bought them or got them because of how apparently everyone suddenly got into gardening over this last 18 months. Nearly 2 years now. Scroll up a few, Richard, and see my links. Unfortunately, for some reason, I don't think links appear on my chat, so I can't see it, I'm afraid. If you could send it to me by messenger, that would be great. Gardening has not been that popular over here, but the last 2 years we've seen seed companies flooded with orders and some companies running out, so it's becoming more important. Same happened over here, to be honest. I think it was a worldwide thing. Excuse me. That seed companies were struggling. Brexit hasn't helped, and various other import excise things going on. Of course, I mean, I think here on mainland, I'll do much better than Northern Ireland, of course. But there's a lot of issues with seed companies not having enough stock. And even like over this last year, when I've been trying to do the seeds for the supporters club, even my suppliers, the supply they had last year had much more choice in it compared to this year. So, yeah, there's definitely something going on there. But hopefully next year things will improve. I want to learn how the previous generation propagated plants. There wasn't plastic in those days and they managed okay. I totally agree with that. For me, I'm always fascinated with the Victorian gardens and the World War II Dig for Victory gardens. A bit of cough again, I apologise. Yeah. I think I'm still fighting this chest infection. Yeah. But yeah, plastic didn't exist in those days. I'm always fascinated how they did things like seed trays made out of wood and so on. Yeah, like you, I am fascinated with it completely. Done, Richard. Thank you. I'll check that out. When I was a child, local nurseries seeded in wooden flats. Yeah, excuse me, wooden seed boxes. Seed trays. I think that I've seen them. I think they look fantastic, but my thoughts are eventually they'll rot away. They're difficult to store. They're heavy, and so on and so on. I think what's the Digwell said on that? Wooden seed trays. I tried them, but I found the roots of the finest seeds stuck to the woods. That was my thought as well. I thought probably the wood will rot because it's in a damp environment. They're going to be heavier. They're not so easy to store. I've got to say, as much as I'm trying to reduce the amount of plastic I use, plastic does have its uses. I love using my. I'll grab this one. I love using these plastic seeds for starting my seeds off because they are. I mean, they're about 10 years old, to be honest, and they're still going fine since the day I've used them, and they fit my propagators nicely. So yeah, they're plastic. They last. Wood wouldn't last that as long. Off subject, but just remember to say, if anyone is after bulbs, Wilko's have 70% off at the minute. Last time I went into Wilkinson's, the gardening section was reduced to one shelf. Oh dear, sorry. In preparation for the Christmas stock. Go in the garden centre, and it's two shelves in preparation for Christmas stock as well, isn't it? Probably a bit of a over-exaggeration there, but it's just how I feel. In my limited experience, plastic cell trays are useless, seem to take a lot of work and dry out. I've not found that. I've not found that at all. But I've got gravel trays in which I have wicking mats on the bottom, so they soak up all the water, and the base of the pots are always in contact with that, so they're always staying moist. Idaho says those were the downsides. That's my thought as well. Excuse me. Michael White, you can get 1x45 joined cell root trainers on eBay for £7.85, but you can't open them up like yours. You can also get 12 individual root trainers in a frame for £11.85. Not sure if they are free post. Interesting. How many do I get? 4, 8, 12, 16. I think I get about 32. Excuse me, sorry. 32 in mine, but I've seen they also do some that are much bigger and you only get 4 per tray. Again, they open up, but I'll have a look at those 1x45 jointed cell root trainers. I mean, I prefer, I haven't got any available to show you now. I'm moving on to, again, they came from Wilkinson's. They're like plug plants. So they're little containers that just fill up with compost, and it almost like creates their own plug plants now. I'm liking those. It's all down to the compost, Digwell. Digwell also says there's no Wilco's near him. I thought Wilco's were pretty much everywhere nowadays. Turbo Stream, it might be me, Lynn. It could well be. Sorry, Richard, it was Oakland I got my refills, not Elixir. 24 for £16. I will check Oakland's. That's a good point. I will check Oakland's out because I haven't been on their website for a while, actually. They're normally pretty reasonably priced. I've got my potato buckets from there a few years ago because of their pricing was good. I think we all know who's told us about Oaklands. It's a very popular YouTube channel with that. I use and reuse plastic cell trays. I pop them in a 10-20 tray and make sure to water and check water every day. I live in a very arid climate. I actually spray my seeds. On that note, I spray them. I've got a little water sprayer that I just spray in the morning and spray in the evening, and just basically mist it. So it's not saturated, but it creates a fine mist, and that tends to work quite nicely, I find, for starting seeds off. And it doesn't wash all the seeds off. Like if you get a load of water, the seeds just tend to wash off. So interesting how we've gone on about. We've started off talking about seed storage, and we've gone down this route of starting seeds off and what we use to start seeds off. It's always fascinating how this show goes. So next week, I've got 2 subjects lined up, and I'm going to need a few videos and stuff like that to come in if you are available. So the first subject is your favourite vegetable dish. So what is your favourite vegetable-based dish that you cook? Could be anything. It could be something as simple as a jam, a chutney, or a full-blown vegetarian meal. If you can send it to me in advance so I can cook it and eat it and try it on the show, I'll be chuffed to pieces. If it contains mushrooms, I won't be able to do it because I've got mushroom allergy. But yeah, that'd be great to do that. Please do get sending those in. And the second subject, it kind of ties in with that, is going to be the favourite veg of the season. What vegetable have you grown that has really blown you away for this year? I said season, I meant year. The 2 subjects I think work quite nicely together and give us plenty of conversation. So favourite vegetable dish and favourite vegetable for this year. Be great to get those ideas coming in. Turbostrom, I do use the capillary matching in gravel trays. I think my porch gets too hot in the spring. It's quite possible. But I do, like I say, I spray twice a day, in the morning and in the evening. And any excess water obviously gets on that matting and just keeps it cool. Look forward to seeing some more fab recipes next week. I look forward to it as well. Please do send them in to me as well. Richard at veggroundpodcast.co.uk. Patch seeds in Northern Ireland sell 20 and second-hand 15 sales seeded tree trays for £20. I brought quite a few. I will check that out. Only been used for chitting potatoes. Fantastic. I will check that out as well. So we've got 6 minutes to go for this show this week. It's been a good one, actually. It's been great chatting to you as always. But if you want to call in, 07307 135 174, or if you want to zap yourself in, that is also available if you click the link going up in the comments right now. So this next week, what am I going to be hoping to do throughout the garden? I thought I'd try and fill in a bit of time towards the end here with that. Yeah, I'm hoping to try and knock down this last post of ivy. This probably won't be till next weekend because by the time I come back in the evening, it's dark. But I'm in the evening, so I'm spending a bit of time out here in this shed. I've got lights in here, so it seems to make sense. And just tending to plants and things. What have we got? The Bellicillium saying to Digwell, I brought them. They are brilliant. Digwell rushes off to find some recipes. Yeah. And Rebecca is saying, is it me or these shows going by quicker? It certainly does seem to fly by quicker each week, I've got to say. I don't know, when I used to do, when I first started doing these, it was just an hour. I found an hour wasn't enough. so I extended it to an hour and a half. And an hour and a half is starting to feel like I need to spend a bit more time, go for 2 hours. But I personally, I don't know if I would cope with 2 hours of constant talking. Who knows? Who knows? There may be times that I will go to a 2 hour show if the conversation is going good. Certainly in the spring, it can easily be done. Good quality container wise 1-2. Yeah, that was that. Who was it? Patch Seeds in Northern Ireland. Oh, hello. Oh, so she pops in with it'll be 2.5 hours soon. I didn't know Amanda was watching. Is Roxy okay? I heard her barking earlier. Yeah, 2.5 hours before too long. I don't think I could cope with. I don't think my voice will be able to cope, or my throat will be able to cope with 2.5 hours. That's by the time I finish, that'll be 8:30. It's I've got a bit. Sunday nights is like my chill out night usually. I finish this, I put a supporters club podcast out, have a bath, early night, and then go and what have you. If you go to 2 hours, we need an intermission for a loo break. Yeah, definitely. See you all next week. Digwell's starting to close up, and Roxy is asleep. Oh, good. That is good. Yeah, well, we've got 2 minutes to go, so I think we'll start winding it up. It's been great chatting to you. Please do send me an email. I think it was Oracle that said they tried sending me an email that didn't come through. I'm going to get old and try and see what's going on and find out where some of these missing emails are going, because I should have heard a lot more back from other companies and stuff. I was starting to think it was something going on my end. Oh, actually, Adrian's saying 2 hours sounds good. On that note, how's the non-drinking going? Just quickly towards the end. Thanks everyone from Beatrice. Thank you for joining us, Beatrice. Thanks for a lovely show, and see you all next week from Rebecca. Yes, so please do get your recipe ideas, your thinking caps on, your photos sent in, your ideas sent in. It'd be great to hear you. I'm going to work on these sound issues over this week again, try and boost things up. I suspect that my sound is out with my voice, a bit like watching a badly dubbed Chinese show. Tomo Stream, great show. Richard, see you lot next week. Fantastic show, great tips, everyone. Cheerio, folks. Idaho saying hello to Amanda. 8 weeks this. Fantastic. Well done, Adrian. 8 weeks of not drinking. Fantastic. Well done, Adrian. Please do keep us posted. It's going fantastic. Alison, thanks for all your ideas from Alison Whelan. And her name's actually popped up now. I think there was a way it can be done. Fantastic. 8 weeks today. Fantastic. Well done, Adrian. I was going to have a round of applause thing going on for that as well. Right, it is 7:30, so we're going to wrap up this show. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining. It's been great to see you all, as always. Podcast be out tomorrow night. I can't remember what I'm doing off the top of my head. And then we'll be back next Sunday with another live show. Favourite veg dish and your favourite vegetable from this year. So, thanks so much for joining me. Thanks so much for the conversation and joining in. And until next time, please take care. Bye for now.